Hello everybody. I haven't posted in a little while. I've been pretty busy. Um, but I'd like to put a little update out there on how the Magnum build's going so far. Um, at the end of this video, I'm going to be talking about why I went the Magnum route. But for now, I'm just going to give a little update on how the build's going and everything. Uh, so, we've got the cylinder walls honed and everything. I can't really tell if you can see the cross hatches or not, but we got them redone there. We do need to clean these lifter boards out. They got some baked on oil and grease and stuff in there, so we need to fix that. Today I am lapping these valves in. As you can see, I've already cleaned these, but I have not touched those yet. And that's the valves that I've already lapped. I still got to do all of these and the other head. But as you can kind of see there, I have been doing a little porting on these heads, just to slick them up a little bit, polish them a little bit, help the flow a little bit. Not going too crazy on that. We did gasket match them though. And then versus this head, you can kind of see the casting and stuff in there. Really ain't a great job from the factory. You don't look like. You can kind of see they're pretty rough in there, rough looking. But so we'll be doing that. I've gotten the headers in so far, and I got a fuel pump today. It's a Holly Mighty Mite. It says it's 4 to 7 psi and 32 gallons an hour, and it's good for up to 400 horsepower. So we should be all right with that. I have also gotten quite a bit of other things. We got the double roller timing chain. We got that from Comp Cams. I got the whole rebuild kit and everything already. I bought that from Engine Parts Only. As you can see there, it comes with all the gaskets and rings and stuff. It was about $200, so it wasn't really that bad. Also ordered some freeze plugs because they didn't look too bad on the Magnum, but upon further investigation, one of them had a hole in it, so we decided it'd be best to go ahead and replace all of that. But so far we've been doing a little bit here and there, and it shouldn't be too much longer. All we got to do now is we got to paint it still, so we got to clean up the engine. But after we get the lifter boards done and we get it cleaned up and everything, we'll be ready to paint. I already ordered the paint and everything. I'm gonna use the primer, the 2000 degree engine primer. I think it was VHT brand. I'm not real sure on that. I know we got the Hemi orange paint that's going to be put on it. That was the Duplicolor brand. I got 2 cans of that, so hopefully that'll be enough. We'll see how that goes. But once we get that done, we'll be ready to throw this thing back together. I'm still waiting on the can, but it shouldn't be too much longer. They said it will be here by the end of this month or early next month, so it shouldn't be too much longer on that. That's about where we're at right now, though. I basically got everything I need to do the swap now, as far as putting the engine back together. But I may have to rebuild that carburetor. I'm not real sure how it's going to act just yet. And trying to think what else we need to be doing. I basically bought everything. I got all the gauges and everything. They're supposed to be here later today. They've all been ordered, all the gauges. I'm going to put a wideband on that transmission temperature sensor for that transmission that's in there, so I'm not real sure what's in it. I just want to make sure that thing doesn't explode on me. So I'll keep tabs on the temperature of that thing. I got a tachometer. I need that because that truck does not come factory with a tachometer, so I need to see that whenever we're breaking the cam in and everything. And the wideband gauge will just help me tune the carburetor better. So that's about all I've ordered so far and everything. I've got about everything. All I need is an electric fan. That's all I need really. A thermostat. Just some cooling stuff just to keep that thing cool. Other than that, I got everything else. And it should be a pretty simple procedure to put it all back together. I already got the plastic gauge and assembly lube. But once we get it painted, all we'll be doing is reassembling it and waiting on the cam. And then she'll be ready to swap. And I'll try to get a video of that, taking a 318 out and putting this thing in. We'll see how that goes. But it's really winding down now. But anyway, I know y'all are probably wondering a little bit about why I'm going with the 5.9 Magnum versus like a 440 or the 318 that's already in it, or even a Hemi. Well, the reason is those Hemis, they're expensive. They're really expensive to buy, even out of the boneyard or whatever. And they're notorious for dropping valve seats, so it's kind of a gamble when you're buying one, and you have to spend about $1,000 to get one. Where I'm at anyway. Everywhere I look, it's all about $1,000, and some of them people don't know how they run. So they may have a drop valve seat and you don't know about it, and I'd hate to spend $1,000 and get a junk motor. So the price was the big thing on the Hemi. I know that those heads flow awesome, and you can do a lot to them. They got a whole lot more potential than this thing does, but the price is just crazy on that thing, and even the aftermarket for those are really expensive. So I think the best bang for the buck for me would be the Magnum, because the 440, the only ones you can find are from an RV, and they're about $1,000. And all the RV 440s have really low compression, so you really have to beef them up on the pistons and stuff to get them to really perform the way you want them to. They make a lot of torque and stuff, but the horsepower really just ain't there. I mean, they got a lot of power, but they're not something you want to use for racing. If they're like a towing, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think. The biggest thing for those really is just the price, and the compression on those things are not very good. And it costs a lot to put new pistons in there and boost that compression. It'd make a lot of power, that's for sure, and even those old heads and stuff, they don't flow near like these newer heads do, so I don't know. I think I'd just be safer with this. And the 440 would take some fabrication to mount up in that Dodge, so I know these engines, they're pretty good because they're based off the LA, so they're pretty easy to put in there. I know with the Hemi, they make kits for it. But these, you don't really have to buy anything. You can actually get away without buying anything as far as mounting it up. I'm probably going to buy one of the brackets that go on the passenger side. I'm not real sure yet. I'll have to see what exactly they're talking about when they say that. They say it needs to be shimmed or something on one side of it so it'll mount right. We'll see how we'll see that when we get there. We'll see what we do. And the 318, the one that's in that truck is pretty good. It's a roller motor. It's got the roller tappets in there, the lifters. And those heads are 302 swirl port castings, so they're pretty good. It'd be a pretty good 318 to hop up if you ever wanted to. But for me, it's just that, well, the 318 is a pretty small motor, and it cost me about $3,000 to get that thing to like 400 horsepower, just because the the displacement's so small. I mean, there's nothing against the motor itself. It's just the displacement's just not. It'd be a lot easier to get a Magnum to make a lot like 400 horsepower if that was my goal, which it was. So, and whenever like I picked this motor up for 150 bucks. To me, there ain't nothing you can do that 318 with 100. There's no aftermarket part out there that you can spend 150 bucks and get the same amount of power that this thing's making stock. I mean, that's basically what I got whenever I went and bought it. The 318 would take a lot to get it to that level, and it would probably cost me 500, 600 bucks to get it the same level as a stock Magnum, the 5.9, and or I can just buy one for 150 bucks and be done with it. So I'm just going to use that one for that. Because with about 1,500 bucks, you can make about 400 horsepower out of these motors pretty easily. I think, well, it cost me about 2,000, but I was kind of starting from scratch. I didn't have anything. So if you have some stuff laying around, it could be a lot cheaper. What I'm basically saying, but as far as bang for buck, this is definitely the best motor out there for the swap I'm doing. I'm definitely not going to LS swap a Mopar, so that's just not going to happen. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you about and give you an update. So I'll try to keep you more informed on how everything's going. But until next time, please like and subscribe.